This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel. Yesterday night, last night, however you say it, a fantastic all-around experience for the first round of the 2019 NHL entry draft. A big thank you to everybody who tuned into the live stream. It was a great time. Unfortunately, this chair really kills my back, so I had to tune out halfway through. But we got through the Oilers pick. We got Broberg and all's fine and dandy. But now, the old Toronto Maple Leafs go and make some waves that very much so, very much so, impact our Edmonton Oilers. And the sense is, how could they do that in a deal with the Carolina Hurricanes? That's what doesn't make sense to the first year, right? You hear Patrick Marleau to the Carolina Hurricanes, suddenly it starts making a little bit more sense, right? Obviously, we have to go over to good old Cap Friendly and get ourselves up on the Patrick Marleau page. I haven't done that yet. You know me, I'm not always the most prepared when I hit that record button for whatever reason, but we'll get on it. Patrick Marleau, and there we go. Let's get to him. 39 years old. This is the problem with this Patrick Marleau move, because Patrick Marleau signed with a $6.25 million cap hit, a no movement clause. Well, that's been waived to go to Carolina now. And you see here, the Toronto Maple Leafs have announced that they have, acquired a 6th round draft pick in the 2020 draft. So, you know, it's not just Patrick Marleau straight up for a 2020 draft pick. It's Patrick Marleau, a conditional 1st round pick in the 2020 draft, with the condition being if it's the top 10, it goes to the 2021 draft, and a 7th round pick in the 2020 NHL draft. So essentially they give up Patrick Marleau and a 1st rounder to upgrade a 7th to a 6th. That's essentially what the deal is. However, what is this? This is a total salary dump move if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it's a very good gamble, saying you'll be better off next year and the year after than you would be with Patrick Marleau on the team. That's essentially the gamble, right? This now frees up $6.25 million in cap space. I don't know if Cap Friendly is freed up, but looks like it has, because he's now listed as a Carolina Hurricanes player. So let's go over to the old Toronto Maple Leafs, and if I can get the link open, I'll get breaking down their cap space. This now gives them $14 million in cap space if the cap is at $82 million. So right there, that gives you the idea that Andres Johnsson, Kasperi Kapanen, Mitch Marner, Tyler Ennis, those guys can and might be signed now, given that this Patrick Marleau move has been made. So, all right, I don't need to talk about the Leafs. That's not what we're here to do. We're not here to talk about how the Toronto Maple Leafs are out of cap hell. They did the dirty and they got the deal done, and Patrick Marleau's gone, and praise the Leafs. The Cup's coming to Toronto next year. Kawhi won it for the Raptors. Now it's the Leafs' turn. No, that's not what we do on Dolynny TV. If you're tuning in because you think that's what we do, I'm sorry to disappoint. This is all about setting the precedent for an Oilers Lucic deal. There's quite a few factors you have to look at here when it comes to this deal, though, when you're talking in terms of setting the precedent. Mr. Patrick Marleau is 39 years old. That means he's on a 35-plus contract. That essentially means there's a lot more complications to it than somebody would say in terms of Lucic deal. Let me see if I can pull up the 35-plus contract. What is a 35-plus contract? That's what I'm looking for on Cap Friendly. And where is it? If an RFA calculates, what is a 35-plus contract? If a player signs a multi-year contract and is age 35 or older prior to June 30th, the player's individual cap hit counts against the team's cap hit regardless of whether or where that player is active. However, there is one circumstance in which there is a cap hit reduction. Team will receive $100,000 relief off the team's salary cap if a player is playing in the minor leagues after the first year of their contract. That's not the case. The 35-plus rule was introduced in 2005 and was intended to prevent teams from burying veterans in the AHL or front-loading contracts to draw players to signing with them. One result of the rule is that it has led to teams signing short 1 or 2 year contracts with veteran players to prevent the possibility of being stuck with the player's full cap hit if they are injured or unable to produce. On a related note, over the previous couple of years, there have been significant confusion as to whether a buyout does or does not receive a cap benefit for 35-plus contracts. The most recent understanding is that bought out 35-plus contracts do not receive a cap hit benefit, and that was explained by Michael Russo. So there you go. That's essentially, when you're looking at the complications, that's the complication of a 35-plus contract. That is why you essentially have the first-round pick going for free. That's what it is. So now you sit here and you look, okay, that's a 35-plus contract, 6.25, not $6 million on the dot. And then you've got, well, okay, math's hard, first thing in the morning. But you look at it and you sit here, okay, $250,000 more in salary. They gave up a seventh, a first, got a sixth. He's 35, actually 39. It's a 35-plus contract, but you know where I'm going. And, okay, minor relief. They've got to make sure Carolina plays them. Okay, that's why you give up the first. But that sets the precedent. There is a deal to be made. PK Subban in New Jersey, by the way, just popped up on my feed. But there's a deal to be made here for Milan Lucic. If you can't straight up trade Milan Lucic for a 7th round pick, given this deal, or trade Lucic and a second for a 6th, there is no reason you can't get this done, given this Patrick Marleau deal. This Patrick Marleau deal is as stinky, if not worse, at 39 years old Patrick Marleau than the Lucic deal is, realistically, when you compare apples to oranges with the Leafs and Oilers. So this sets the precedent that, yes, a no movement clause, yes, a terrible cap hit, yes, a terrible contract is there to be moved. And yes, okay, it might hurt that you have to move a 2020 or 2020 first if the deal is kind of to be done correctly if you're the Edmonton Oilers, and maybe get something in return that isn't just a 6th round pick throwaway. But seriously, it's a very easy move to make now that the precedent has been set by the Toronto Maple Leafs. So you look at Lucic. That's the one thing I'm missing here, is I haven't gone over and told you what his contract details fully are. But Milan Lucic, $6 million for the next 4 years. That's the scary figure. So if you're giving up a first, maybe it's not as bad of a deal as you think. He's got a no movement clause this year, next year. Well, guess what? Patrick Marleau had a no movement clause. And guess what? Kyle Dubas, because he has a brain in the general manager's chair, obviously able to make a move here. So it's not too crazy to think that Milan Lucic, given a first, you can get something of substance. Lucic isn't 39, right? You're not losing him, and there's something of substance to be gained here if you're the Oilers and you trade a first with Lucic. You could get that top 9 forward. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I don't care if it's top 9 forward who's going to score you 20 or 10. Anything's an improvement over who was supposed to be our second line winger scorer in Tobias Reeder. Guys, it's very clear. The path has been paved. The Edmonton Oilers, without a doubt, going into today's draft, now with PK Subban moved, Patrick Marleau moved, the precedent is set. The Edmonton Oilers have a path that they can trade Milan Lucic. It's going to be stinky looking to begin with, but guys, we get anywhere out from under this Lucic deal. I know the proponents, but this is just squarely based on looking at getting out of the deal. It is very clear that yes, indeed, our Edmonton Oilers can now do it. Whether they do it, whether it's the right way to do it, that's the question. But it is indeed possible. Guys, I'm Tyson, this Dolynny TV. Again, thank you so much for your support yesterday on the draft. Absolutely means the world to me. It was a great day. Nicholas came in, Dono bombed with $21 right off the bat, guys. That's the crazy stuff that really shocks me. You guys are absolutely the best. Thank you so much. Saturday, got the crap shirt on. I'll go shower, get ready. We'll get ready for the draft starting in about a few minutes here, and then we'll get going, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV for Zap. I am up on out of here.